You know, there are several recent good books about achieving work-life balance and making the changes we need to make to deal with the chronic stressors that prevent us from getting work-life balance. Two of the better-known books are Switch, How to Change Things When Change is Hard by Chip and Dan Heath. Another is Marshall Goldsmith's book called Mojo, How to Get It, How to Keep It, and How to Get It Back If You Lose It. A third one that's an older book, 2004, by Richard Swenson, MD, is called Margin, and the subtitle is Restoring Emotional, Physical, Financial, and Time Reserves to Overloaded Lives. And two other books that I'll mention here. One is The Stress Effect, Why Smart Leaders Make Dumb Decisions and What to Do About It by Henry L. Thompson. And finally, one of my favorite books, Tony Schwartz's book, and I love the title of this, The Way We're Working Isn't Working. And that's certainly true. His subtitle is The 4 Forgotten Needs That Energize Great Performance. Now, if you need to read something on stress, those are all good books. The Teaching Company also has a new CD/DVD series out by Stanford neurobiologist Robert Sapolsky on stress and your body. That is very interesting. I've been a long-time follower of Dr. Sapolsky. I think he's probably the world's leading expert on the subject of dealing with stress. And what nearly all of these authors are telling us is this. There is no doubt now that work-life balance is still mostly a pipe dream, and that chronic stress, the major preventer of work-life balance, is very dangerous and getting much worse. Yes, times have always been tough. Most historic times, in fact, I think were much tougher than today. But never before in world history have humans nearly all suffered from chronic stress all at one time. And even though our ancestors did suffer probably much more than we have, there is actually a good case to be made that they had a better work-life balance than we do. Our ancestors had quiet places and times to grieve and heal. We simply don't. And Bob Sapolsky explains in his work that humans have a larger prefrontal cortex. That's the part of the brain that's up here. We have a larger prefrontal cortex than any other animal. And this is the part of the brain that plans ahead and worries. Other animals don't have it, so they can't plan and worry. It's also the part that gets us stressed out, though. All mammals have a flight-fight response, just like we do. But in all of the others with a small prefrontal cortex, the stress response automatically turns off when it's not needed. In us, unfortunately, it stays on, unless we become aware of what's happening and hit the manual off switch. Although that's way too simple a metaphor, I think it actually works. We need to learn to hit the off switch when it's really not time to fire up our stress responses. So where's the off switch, you ask? Well, surprisingly, it's pretty easy to find. And there's more than one off switch. But when we're stressed, it's not easy to know how to access and flip those switches. Sometimes a little pre-planning is in order. Let me give you a heads up on how it works. You know, I break it down into 6 basic ways of coping with stress to achieve work-life balance. Discover, dream, create, share, plan, and act. Let's start with the discover switch, though. When you are stressed, look to discover something new. Motivational speaker Jim Rohn used to call this turning frustration into fascination. I love that one. When you intentionally go on the hunt or on a mission to discover something new, you lower your stress level. Drive a different way to work and see if there's anything surprising in what you see. Go for a walk or a run when you think you don't have the time, and explore how it feels afterwards to have done that. A second switch to turn on is the dream switch. Ask a what-if question every day about something. What if I actually planned to get a good night's sleep? What if I just ate right for a week? What if where I am now is exactly where I'm supposed to be? Good question. Good thought. Daydreaming is openly condemned in business. That's a big mistake, because daydreaming lowers stress. Lowering stress boosts creativity, and the solution that we can't see when we're stressed is the one we can see when we're relaxed. A third switch is to create something. Create something with your hands. Create something with your mind. Follow your interests and dreams by planning or doing something about them. The act of creation, whether tangible or intangible, lessens stress. A fourth switch is to share. Share your discoveries, dreams, and creations with others. Build or join a community of people around a common interest. Reach out, listen to others' stories, and tell them yours. Sharing always lowers stress. Then there's the plan switch to lower your stress. Yes, business planning can actually lower stress. Who knew? Planning your work is the first time you get to savor the future. Anticipating the discoveries you'll make, the dreams you'll pursue, the relationships you'll build, all of that can be exhilarating. Finally, act. You planned your work, now work your plan. You know, I can always seem to reclaim my work-life balance whenever I discover, dream, create, share, plan, and act in the ways I've just described. I find it always pays to cross a boundary and discover something new. I love to envision, to dream about what might be from what is. I choose to create and share my hopefulness and optimism with others every day as my gift to them when I can give them nothing else. I plan to get ready for any eventuality. When I plan effectively, I find that I am more creative and spontaneous in the moment. The key, of course, is to act. Action always carries the day. So why not start today and begin your own process of discovering, dreaming, creating, sharing, planning, and acting.